Hello everybody and welcome to coverage of this round 9 of the F400 Karting Challenge here at Vereeniging Kart circuit. It is brought to you by Kabuki Racing and K2's Motorsport, and this is the XCo Group F400 endurance class. It is the original class before F200, F300 and F400 sprints was added. Deliver your parcel there, Kart 53. Just getting their grid slot wrong. He's going to have to move his kart back into where he's supposed to be starting. Before we get underway, the green flag is up. And the green flag is down, and we are away and racing. It's Rogue 2 in second place, just next to Kartinator. Kartinator put on pole by the returning Wesley Nielsen. As we look at Sebastian Ledzetti, close himself off and keep third place. Rogue 1, it looked like, going into the pits for an early pit stop. Down the inside, though, is Ben Williams in Rogue 2, and he will take the lead from Kartinator. That's allowed Sebastian Ledzetti down the inside as well. So Kartinator going to fall down to at least fourth there. Wow! Deliver your parcel, giving it a little bit too much curb. And unfortunately, that bottoming the kart out and spinning him around. As we look at the rest of the field, come through the rubber group corner and into this long sweep into E-Ballistic. And it is Rogue 2 ahead of F400 Evo with Kamikaze Pilot in third. So I was right, Kartinator dropped all the way down to fourth in one corner. As we have a look at, down the inside, deep lunge. And that looked like Red Bull, GJ Auto and Stevie Wonders getting caught up. Stevie Wonders just having a bit of a sympathy spin. But if I was GJ Auto Racing, I would not be pleased with that move. Another inside move, down the inside we go again here. Is that the same kart? I don't think so. Can't be 100% sure, but if that is, COC there, Peter Lawrence, we can see him in the red shirt. They're going to have something to say. As we have a look at Rogue 3 and Rogue 1 coming in for their stops. It does look a bit slow, but they do have to wait a period of time. As Bevan Williams, though, leading the pack ahead of Sebastian Ledzetti. Sebastian Ledzetti has some real pace. Kartinator, though, moving themselves back up into third place. Fun times down the inside. Dylan Hall making a move through the field. They were well down the order at the start, but they are quite a fast team. So let's see, 79, that's Red Bull coming back after that. I'm not quite sure what to call the move he did, but he's coming back from it and moving his way back up the field. Kamikaze Pilots, Kartinator, we were just talking about them. Kartinator moved their way back up to third. They're now under pressure, big time from Kamikaze. And it looks like this battle is going to continue for some time in the XCo F400 Karting Challenge. As we go through the double right here, past E-Ballistic there, that is the suppliers of the ballistic armor. But this coverage, True Sport, are doing a great job in partnership with K2 Motorsport and Kabuki Racing to bring you this coverage. And we get to watch Racing Aplenty as they head down the main straight. XCo Group cuts away there as we look back to another dice. It is going to be another late move from Shopping Cart, and that's caused Revolution to ride over their back wheel, and it looks as though that's caused some damage to the front end of the kart because he's getting out of it immediately. Yeah, unfortunately that has snapped a tie rod and double 114 out of this.
Okay, I'm here with Carl Lawrence and Fitch Russ. Now for once, you're going to see the voice behind F400 Karting Challenge being interviewed. So the interviewer becomes the interviewee. Kyle, tell us a little bit about Carl Lawrence.
Well, I've been in karting for 26 years of my life, started at the age of 5. And then from there I decided, when I stopped racing, let's give back to the karting community that I love so much, and got involved with teaching young drivers, doing setup, doing race development. And for the last 16 years, that's what I've been doing. So I teach, I maintain the karts, and we go from there, trying to help them have a good, fun day. Well, K2 Motorsport started 10 years ago. Instead of working with the big teams, I decided to start a smaller team, try and keep the cost down and help guys get into karting. And that evolved eventually into a big team. We became one of the biggest teams in national karting. And it got away from me, it got too big, it got too serious, too professional. And I wanted to go back to small, quiet on my own, couple of drivers here and there, and give more committed time to each driver. So I pulled away from the big teams and wanted to go back to K2 Motorsport. And Fidge also wanted that sort of vibe as Kabuki. So we started Kabuki Racing and K2 Motorsport. We'll stay in karting, but our main aim is to go into sort of main circuit cars, production, the production of vehicles or the modification of vehicles, and also, hydro dipping and customization as well.
Tell us about your side in Kabuki Racing and some of your background.
Well, end of the day, we're brand new. We only started racing this year in the four-stroke series and all of that. So learning a lot, and we started out trying to figure out what's happening and whether my little guy who's racing would actually enjoy it, and he loves it. So we actually got to know Carl and the way he does things, and he's really, really good with the kids. So we decided, us partnering with Carl and starting something new and fresh, and the way we want to do it and the way we want to get things set up and get kids racing and all of that, but also try and transition into the motoring side, the customization, all of that. It's things we love to do. We're also learning still how to do it. So the learning curve is huge, but the enjoyment it's out of control.
Well, a quick word from me then. Now you get to know what I look like. That was never the idea. I was hoping to stay behind the camera, but I was in front of it that time. As we go back to the battle of the lead. Oh, that's another spin. And another spin. Kartinator just get out. Oh, deliver your parcel in the wars today. Same corner they lost in turn one. That looked like it hurt. What went wrong?
Don't know. I don't know.
I see we've got
carts on the corner. Tried to avoid the carts and I spun off and clipped into the tires. Bent axle.
That's horribly unfortunate. Well, you say bent axle.
Yeah. Proper job.
That's a proper job of a bent axle. Also, bandage on your foot. So are you going to be able to get back in the carts, or?
Most definitely, eh?
Hey, suck it up and off you go.
There we go.
So we see him limping it off there, but that definitely looked like it hurt. That axle was properly bent, but that could have been a lot worse if you hadn't avoided it as well as he did. Rock Racing Kart 7 also out of this now. We see them pushing their way across the circuit. That FA kart a little bit worse for wear. Can't really see the damage on it, but there is Shopping Kart also involved in that incident. And unfortunately, he is out of the running at the moment. A static yellow flag as we get that kart out of the way. And we go back to racing. Road 2 down the inside, being chased hard by F400 Evo. I'm not sure why he's slowing down to let the kart pass him. It does seem a little bit weird, but XCo, we're going to hear a bit from their CEO now. Guys, so I'm here with Hugo from the XCo Group. Hugo, you've come on board with us as a sponsor. You race in the F400 Endurance as well. How long have you been racing?
So we started middle of this year. We looked for something that I can do with my sons, and Googled. My son liked Formula 1, wanted to do the racing, and I got hold of the Formula F400 class or karting challenge guys. And what an amazing sport for you to have with your kids.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better time spent than with your kids at the circuit. Are you guys enjoying it thus far? Is it a good race day for you so far?
Absolutely. Plus, you know what, we in the branding game. We do branding and digital marketing and all about expose your brand. And we actually want to come on board, and we discussed it with Nico and the guys to say, listen, let's help build the F400 brand. I think it's a fairly small sport, but with a bit of effort, we can all grow together, and that's why we got involved.
It's great to see such a good brand as XCo coming on board. Give me a little bit more information about the XCo Group, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So we play in the space of building brands, from creating digital marketing, positioning of brands, and then all the stuff like corporate clothing, gifting, exposure material, gazebos, flags, banners, so all that stuff for exposing and building brands. That's where we play.
I hope you have a great race day. No issues, let's hope.
Absolutely.
And you finish a great endurance series well up in the top 10, hopefully.
Hopefully. Thanks so much.
Well, that was our class sponsor, the XCo Group. Nice to hear from them, and it's a great initiative to get sponsors on board and get the F400 Karting Challenge out there to people. Whoa, big spin. Kart 35, Pablo Clark there, used to working with Ferraris, and unfortunately they don't have just a rear brake, so a little bit late on the brakes, locked it up, and unfortunately he spun himself around as we have a look at Roadrunner.
It was really good, we were doing really well. Then we realized our throttle wasn't opening all the way. We adjusted our throttle, and then we adjusted way too tight, and we snapped it in 5 laps later. But our lap times were great, so...
Well, that's a positive, that's a plus. Yeah. So this is your 15-minute stop?
This is our 15-minute stop, and we'll be behind and we'll wait for the switcheroo.
Mr. Michael, come talk to me here, boy. Hey, long time no see, how you doing? So it's been a while since I've seen you the track. You're actually one of the old school four-stroke drivers.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of maladies today, some troubles. But yeah, it's been good fun, great to be back. It's been a long time coming.
And you picked a very interesting race to come back because they're doing the switcheroo.
Correct.
So how do you feel about doing that? And
I think it's cool. I think it's always, it's obviously always time for new things, and why not try it? So I think it's cool concept.
We just heard from them now. They're up into Donkey Punch when we spoke to them. We're in 4th, they're down to 10th now. As we look at Tire Point, just rejoining the circuit after losing it there onto the Rubberproof Straight. But here we see the safety car slowing everybody down. Now what's going to happen is the safety car is going to slow everybody down, bunch them up for a lap or two, and then we are going to switch directions. So we're going to go from running the circuit, I believe it is clockwise, yes, running the circuit clockwise, to running it anti-clockwise. And we will finish the race in 1 hour and 56 minutes to go in a counterclockwise direction. So here we see Jimmy turning through the loop, and that is what's going to change direction of the circuit from clockwise to counterclockwise. He will come into the pits, and we will head on racing. So Jimmy Talbot piloting the father and son's 600cc four-stroke kart, a little project he built for himself, and that is what's being used as the safety car. As we see the safety car go in, the race is on, and how they're going to work out who's where and what is entirely up to the timekeeper. So the timekeeper got his work cut out for him. We see Sebastian Lanzetti trying to go on the outside of 2-3 karts. He's in the middle of a sandwich, and he somehow made it through, and is in, I think, what is the lead of this race at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Through the sweep they go. We're watching the group of cars. Some of these guys are for the first time doing this track backwards. As we go back to the front end, it's Sebastian Lanzetti in front of the group. And where would his nearest rival be? I think it is row 2. Can't seem to see them in the picture. So it's not even Lanzetti. It is Fun Times that are in the front. F400 Evo number 66 is down in 9th. So what I'm looking at on the screen and what it is on the timers is not quite what's going on because of the way the stops work and the extended stops that the drivers are doing. You have to wait in the pits for a certain period of time before you can join the circuit. If you join too early and cross the line too quickly, you will be penalized. Back on board now, we're looking at Kartinator and Fun Times. It is Wesley Nielsen versus Peter Heidemann. They are two of the top drivers in the F100. Can't decide who's going to be following and who's going to be leading. Wesley telling Peter, please push me. Peter saying, no, I'll go past and you push me. And yet they are still trying to decide. Side by side through the chicane they go. Rather than have a conversation, gents, let's try a race. Wesley's saying, no, you go, no, I'll go, no, we'll go together. So it looks as though Wesley Nielsen and Peter have sorted themselves out. Delon Thompson in row 2, followed by row 3. Down the inside goes one of the Elof brothers. Past Delon Thompson. Delon Thompson, an African Open winner in his own right in the Road Tax Max Challenge, making his debut here in F400. And doing a good job of it. They're sitting in 5th and 6th, 4th, 5th and 6th at the moment, row 2, 1 and 3. But again, that's all depending on the stops. With 1 hour and 7 minutes left to go, we go back to this group. I think that is row 3 and F400 Evo. Yes, it is row 3 down the inside of F400 Evo. Elof has made that move and made it stick. And was that for position? I think it was. So row 3 will get a lap back up on F400 Evo. 9 minutes left to go. We're looking at a dice between Team XCo and the XCo Toppies. It's old men versus the youngsters. And they seem to have resolved that quite amicably at the moment as we stand with 9 minutes left to go. It's Rogue 1 ahead of Rogue 3. Kartinator is in 3rd place. Rogue 2 in 4th. Kamikaze Pilots in Kamikaze Pilots in 5th and F400 Evo in... Wow! Massive shunt from Deliver Your Parcel. Something has broken on that kart and it has thrown him into the wall at a rate of knots. I think what has happened is the axle they put in has actually broken. The marshal just saying, have a seat there, boss. It's gonna. Oh yeah, there we go. You see the axle snap. You can see the bit of the axle left in the rim. That becomes a projectile weapon, and bang into the wall. That was huge. Wheel skipping across the track there. Lucky not to hit another competitor. But wow. I hope that driver was okay. The Rogue 1 though, coming across on the final lap to take victory here in the F400 Endurance Challenge. Sponsored to you or brought to you by the XCo Group. It's Rogue 1 ahead of Rogue 2. And we will see a timesheet come up now of the winners or of the results of the XCo Group F400 Karting Challenge. Cross the checkered flag they go and over the start finish line to call the end of round 9. It is Rogue 1 winners ahead of Rogue 3, Kartinator down in 3rd. Rogue 2 actually wasn't 2nd, they were 4th ahead of Kamikaze Pilots and Roadrunner. Team XCo, our sponsors, in 7th ahead of Red Bull, XCo Toppies and GJ Auto Racing. Once again, thank you to the XCo Group for bringing this coverage, making this coverage possible, as well as Kabuki Racing and K2 Motorsport.